So I get asked all the time, what vehicle would you buy? And if you're buying a full-sized SUV, I would not look any further than the old second-gen Sequoias. I've owned them all, the Yukons, the Expeditions, pretty much everything. And this thing is an absolute beast. It's not pretty. This is a 2008. They pretty much kept them the same from 2007-ish all the way up to 2021, 2022 timeframe. And this has the 5.7. They were all good though. Pretty much the 4.6, the 4.7, the 5.7. But I specifically like these, and I'll show you why inside. The biggest reason I like it is what you see here hanging out the back. That's a 10-foot kayak. And if you look in here, I do a lot of fishing. And this thing, you know, it's a family vehicle, but I can also just lay the seats down, put my kayak in here, and it is just awesome. You can stick the rods up here, lock everything inside. Another huge benefit to that is when you get done with a day of fishing or something and you want to just leave the rods inside, I could put the kayak on top, lock it, so I can keep all my expensive gear inside, especially if you've got like 8-foot poles that are just one-piece poles. They'll fit inside. Unless you got a topper and a roll down back window, it's tough to do in a truck. And obviously the biggest reason to own one of these is the 5.7 and the 6-speed. I have 235,000 on this so far. I've owned GM's Ford Expeditions with the Ecoboost. I had problems with all of them, whether it was electronics, check engine lights, gosh, transmission issues. It doesn't matter. I had issues with every single one of them. A lot of them before 100,000 miles. I had a starter go bad, and that's been it. It's just been normal maintenance. If you want to drive the crap out of something and have it serve you and your family, this is the one to get. So this is a big reason why I like this. You can lay these seats down flat. They're super easy to just lay down, pull back up, and check this out. Almost, so here's 7 feet. We're almost, you know, to 8 feet length, which is extremely nice when you've got kayaks and other things. And then when you don't, you got 3 rows of seats. And the width, we're looking at about 4 feet there, a little over 4 feet. You do have nice little storage compartment. I've got tow gear, rain jackets, chains, all sorts of other things. And then you do have typical little compartments for jumper cables. Nice, you know, here in this back row, you still have quite a bit of storage here. And it's nice to have these rear vents on top. The kids love those. Let's pull these seats up. The only advantage that something like, say, a Yukon or an Expedition XL has over this is just this distance behind the seat. But if you are sitting people back here, you can actually have adults, tall people in the 3rd row and the 2nd row. That is a big win for the Sequoia. One thing you'll notice, this vehicle, if you ever sit in them, they are massive. They have tons of cup holders in all the doors. They've got cup holders here, cup holders in the back. This is a base model, and I've got this back. So I'm 6'1", and I've got plenty of room here. We've had people that are 6'7" back here, no problem. And you still got room here in the front. One thing that you'll notice on the Sequoia is you've got a flat floor here and it goes flat all the way back. So when I flip this up, it just slides forward. It's almost like a minivan. It's on these rails. The floor is just flat. So jumping back here, super easy. Check this out. I mean, I don't remember an SUV, even the Yukons we had, they had that raised floor in the back. And I think the new Sequoia has that little dip up. This is about as good as it's gonna get, especially for a tall person like me. And these can even move up. It's totally comfortable back here for large people. And then you do have a little kick here to get out. I had 3/4 ton Yukons and 1/2 ton Yukons, and the kids actually love this on trips just because of the width and the comfort level in the 3rd row. They like these a lot better than the GM, and Expedition's pretty good. The Expedition's about the only one comfort-wise that compared to this. And here in the front, it is the same story. Got some sunflower seats here for baseball, double cup holders, you know, map lights. You do have some sunglass. This is now 235,000 miles. These seats are kind of crushed down a little bit, but they're still not ripped, which I actually prefer the cloth in these over the leather as they get older. And you'll see I don't even have steering wheel controls. I thought about modifying this. I love this vehicle so much. It's been so good to us, the family, that I just don't want to get rid of it. You have tons of storage in here. Of course, you know, big cavern down there. If you take this out, you can actually pull this and leave this out. Kind of a modular way you can take these out and clean them. One nice thing about these old cars too, man, when you've got gloves on, these knobs are awesome. You don't have to worry about touch screens or capacitive touch or anything. The knobs just work. It does have the center lock, tow haul mode, and this one has done a lot of towing, still no issues with the transmission. It's been fantastic transmission and engine. Now, one of the biggest things here, I have a really big wingspan. Look at this. I'm reaching across. My hand barely comes to the middle of this seat. So these vehicles are extremely big, wide. I mean, they are full-sized, every bit of full-size. Does have this nice little, this slides forward if you're a shorter person and you're moved up. You can configure that. Has a ton of storage in here, man. I put all sorts of stuff in here. Can't say what all is in there, but, and the star of the show, the V8, right? So I think we should take this for a spin. Currently, 235,000 miles on it. I do have a washer light there, but it is warmed up and ready to go. Pretty basic though. I like basic. I love these controls. They're pretty much everything you need and nothing you don't. I'm not big on, you know, if I don't have leather, I actually don't need heated and cooled seats. I can sit here in these seats in 100-degree weather and it doesn't bug me. Now, if I have leather, I need the heated and cooled seats because it's uncomfortable. So that's kind of how I look at it. The lower tech you go, the less things you need and the less problems you have. Now these do come in obviously platinum limited. They have all the bells and whistles, but and they ride good. They have a full independent suspension in the rear and the front, so they're gonna ride nice. But you know, if you're looking at this compared to say, you know, like a new car, a new Yukon, new Toyota Sequoia or something, sure, it's not gonna ride as nice being a used vehicle, but that's kind of not the point, right? If you're looking for the most reliable full-sized SUV ever built, this is it in my opinion. This and the previous generation Toyota Sequoia right before this. So the 4.7, the 4.6, and the 5.7, all really good powertrains and engines. You really can't beat them. Now you do have to make sure they were maintained. I'll go through that really quick. Just some tips to kind of things to look out for on these. There's not a lot to look out for. If someone's maintained them well, they're gonna go for a long time. We'll give it a little rev here. I mean, really, you can't ask for much more from a vehicle that has over 200,000 miles on it, doesn't hardly burn any oil. Man, they're just great. And you know, GM used to be like this, I think, with their old 5.3s, kind of before DFM, before active fuel management. I would not want one of the new Ecoboost models either, unless it was under warranty. Those twin turbos they're just super expensive to maintain. They run great. The Ecoboost runs like a dream when it's under warranty, but I had 60,000 miles on mine and towing up the Ike Gauntlet, and I was already having check engine lights and PCV issues. So for me, that's just not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for dead reliable. I'm looking for something that's never gonna leave me stranded with the family, and that's this vehicle. And we're at about 5,000 feet, so definitely it's not gonna scoot along like a turbo up here, and you know, it's not gonna win a race against a turbocharged engine. The good news is I'm not racing. I kind of drive like a grandma most of the time. I tow boats, I tow trailers, but you know, I'm not looking to race people. And I know a lot of folks out there are just looking for something that point A to point B, reliability is the #1 goal. This is the vehicle you want. So there are a couple things to look out for in these. One, always check the antifreeze. If you're looking for these in the secondhand market, make sure they did coolant changes. If they have some record of it, great. If they don't have record of it, check the coolant, the overflow reservoir. Make sure it's bright pink or red. You shouldn't see any discoloration in there. You can also, if you really want to, you can get a very cheap kit and check for head gasket leaks. That's about the only problem that these have, is the head gaskets. Around 250, 300,000 miles, there have been some that have had head gasket failures. Most of the time that's because people didn't change the coolant. It's not really a bad design. There have been plenty that go 1,000,000 miles with proper maintenance. You need to look for, there's cam tower leaks, and I'll show you how to do that here in a moment. It's just in the passenger wheel well. You can peek in there and look for an oil leak. Super simple. So just look for oil leaks underneath, look for some oil leaks on the passenger side wheel, and check the antifreeze. Other than that, if you have a mechanic go through it, or you're buying from a dealer, you can check compression. But even high mileage, this is one of the few vehicles that I would say, like 150, even 200,000 miles, doesn't scare me in this vehicle. It does in a lot of other vehicles. The Toyota with this 6-speed and this 5.7 doesn't scare me at all. Oh, and I think it's important to show one of the best features on either the 2nd gen Tundra or the 2nd gen Sequoia, and that would be the turning radius. So I want you to take a peek out here and just watch this. So I'm going to turn this all the way and just watch how sharp these things can turn. It's like, you know those lawnmowers, those Walker lawnmowers? I mean, look at this. I can turn around, I mean, just perfect circle, and I'm only using half of this street. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that is crazy. I don't know why that feature makes me so happy, but if you're in a tight spot, tight parking lots, even though this is a really large vehicle, it makes it feel small just because of the turning radius. Another tip on the Sequoia, if you do tow a lot, I think up till about 2010 they did have this auxiliary transmission cooler. Past 2010 they did remove this, but man, that keeps your transmission super cool when you are towing. You can always look for this. If it's not there, it's not the end of the world. It's very hard from up here to see really any oil leaks on this engine. You're going to have to look from down below, but I will show you. So this is the coolant reservoir, and this is really what your coolant should look like. It should be pretty bright pink or red, but you really shouldn't see this down and maybe brown in color. I actually looked at a couple that were brown in color, so just keep an eye on that when you're looking for these. Another spot to look into here. So this is in the passenger side, and if you look through here, do you see that oil leak forming? That is a cam tower leak. Now it's not to the point where it's dripping and making any sort of smell in my engine. As you can see in there, I don't have any leaks on the valve cover, but this is a really good spot to get into and look for leaks on this passenger side. You can see oil dripping down here if you have a bad cam tower leak. I just wanted to do a quick video of, you know, the personal rig that I beat up every day and take fishing and take the kids on trips. I just haven't been able to get rid of it because it's been so reliable, so good to us. We even named her Old Bessie after the big tar machine in cars. This thing has been an absolute dream for our family. Super cheap to operate and own. The gas mileage up here in Colorado isn't all that bad. I usually get about 16 to 18 in it. If you're down at sea level, you're probably gonna get a little worse. And like I said before, this roll down back window makes a big difference, man. If you've got dogs, kayaks, anything you want to throw in there, that roll down back window is awesome. You can put your key in back here in the hole, turn it, or you can use the switch up on the dash to roll it up and down. Pretty cool. They actually got rid of that in the newer Sequoia, which, I don't know, it turns me off pretty bad. I wouldn't even buy a newer Sequoia just because that feature is gone. One thing worth mentioning as well, if you get the SR5, you can just swap this out. They actually come with these kits. These are super easy to do on your own. They're only, you know, maybe 100, 200 bucks if you want wireless CarPlay, get a backup camera. So this is wireless CarPlay, which is pretty cool. You know, I don't need a massive screen, but I basically get all of the capability that I want in a screen, in a car, and I don't really need all of the hassle of the insurance companies and everything else tracking me. So, well, that's gonna do it for this one. If you want something dead reliable, even high mileage that you can probably trust, check these out. Don't look at the Yukons or Expeditions. They're probably gonna be a hassle for you. Till next time, thanks for watching.